everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk about some strange, ridiculous, insane news that part of me hopes is not true, but another part of me is loosening up on it, only in one condition, and that is this insane news that Jamie Foxx Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2 is going to be in Spider-Man 3. And at first, I thought it was a joke. I had to go check the calendar and make sure it wasn't April 1st. I was like, damn, man, I thought it was a little further in 2020. I didn't know it was April 1st. Literally, I was waiting for the fucking punchline. I'm sorry. When I heard that Jamie Foxx's Electro was going to be in Spider-Man 3, I was waiting for the punchline. I was waiting for the joke. I was waiting for the giggle. I was waiting for something. I was waiting for the, yeah, man, I'm just fucking with you. But then it got reported on by The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. Well, mostly The Hollywood Reporter. I don't know about Deadline, but The Hollywood Reporter definitely did. And that blew my fucking skull. Because first of all, why? Let's just get this out of the way first. Why? Okay, let's go off of the assumption that a lot of fans are having right now. The fans who are excited about this aren't actually excited about this character coming back, played by Jamie Foxx. They're excited that the only way this could happen is if it is in a Spider-Verse, a live-action Spider-Verse. Which to that, I'm going to address first. Because this is going to be, I don't know how long this video is going to be. It might be lengthy, it might not be. It depends on how I feel. First of all, I still don't trust Sony enough with something like a live-action Into the Spider-Verse. Everyone talks about Into the Spider-Verse. Everyone talks about that. But if you've been following me long enough, you know that the only reason that movie worked was, one, because it was animated, and it was a lot easier to do animated because of the style it had. Two, Lord and Miller, who are the guys who did the Lego movie as well, were also animated, and they did, you know, the two 21 and 22 Jump Street. But still, and the fact of the matter is, they didn't care about Into the Spider-Verse. Sony did not put a lot of effort into the Spider-Verse. They let Lord and Miller and the creators do whatever they wanted because they didn't think that movie was going to be that big of a deal. Then when it blew up, won an Oscar, then they started pumping their chest out like, oh, we always knew it was going to be that good. And then, once again, that was just luck. I hate to point this out, but Sony in the last 20 years have produced maybe 2.5 good Spider-Man movies. I don't think Spider-Man 1 holds up, but I do think Spider-Man 2 is still a good movie. In 20 years, they have produced 2.5 good Spider-Man movies. And like people beat their chest like Sony's done the fucking Dark Knight trilogy. In fact, they haven't even been able to finish a trilogy. What happened? The Spider-Man 3 sucked. Spider-Man 2 sucked. They didn't even get a third movie. And like I said, I don't trust Sony. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I've always said, and I quote, that if the MCU comes to an end, if the MCU was to fail, if the MCU was to be brought down by something, it won't be DC, it won't be fans turning on it, it won't be that. It will be Sony. Because Sony is trying and attempting, because before this report, there were multiple other reports that Sony wants to connect their universe, what they're doing, all the stuff they're doing to the MCU even more. And it becomes more apparent to me that Sony is a fucking parasite. And I know some people don't want to hear this because they loved Venom and whatnot. Sony's a parasite. And they want to confuse the fans so much between what's the MCU and what's not, that they want to confuse you so much that you go see their movie thinking it's a part of the MCU and it's not. And now they want to take that a step further. They're like, no, we want our products to be in the MCU so that way we can use your power, use what you've built for 10 years, use your staying power, use your Avengers logo, use everything you have to suck it out of you so that we can profit off of you. Because believe me, the Avengers name means a hell of a lot more money-wise than, maybe not merchandise and stuff, but film. It means a hell of a lot more than Spider-Man's name in film. Avengers fucking movies the last two Avengers movies made $2 billion. They didn't even crack the $1 billion mark until they were involved in the MCU. And some people try to kind of like hold their hats on that old Spider-Man 2. And be like, well, Spider-Man 2 came out so long ago that there are people graduating from high school who were born who don't even know what that movie is. That's how old that movie is. There are people who are getting out of high school right now who are fucking like or younger than that fucking movie. We're like, that's crazy. That movie was so long ago. And it's only so long Sony can cock ride off a Spider-Man 2 that came out almost 20 years ago. Maybe 20 years ago, but in a couple more years it'll be 20 years. So, but I digress. Back to this Electro thing. It's a bit ridiculous. Okay, let me entertain the idea that you're gonna make a live action Into the Spider-Verse. Why would you pick that character to try to bring back? Why wouldn't you go call Willem Dafoe and ask him to come back and play Green Goblin? Why wouldn't you call anyone else? Why wouldn't you call, I always forget that actor who played Doc Ock, something Molina. I know his face, I've seen him in a billion things. Why wouldn't you get him come back and play Dr. Octopus? Why wouldn't you get, what's his name, come back and play the Lizard? Why would you literally pick the absolute worst villain out of all of your live-action Spider-Man movies to come back? And then, right now, there are people trying to make the argument, oh, well, this is a Marvel... Bullshit, this is an MCU decision. Anyone who's trying to claim that this is an MCU decision is out of your fucking mind. Do you think Kevin Feige, if you've seen the Spider-Man Homecoming movies, the Spider-Man Homecoming is Far From Home, he has gone out of his way to separate his version of Spider-Man from all the other Spider-Mans. Even when they introduced Jonah Jameson back, it's a totally different Jonah Jameson who happened to be played by the same actor. And you think he's gonna bring back Jamie Foxx as Electro from an entirely different continuity? From a shitty continuity? Are you crazy? No, he wouldn't do some shit like that. The only way this is happening is if Sony is forcing it to happen, which makes me go, this is what I've been worried about, people, is Sony is trying to wiggle their way into a position of power to be able to dictate shit with the MCU, and they are going to ruin it. They are going to wreck the MCU. They are going to sink the fucking MCU. Sony is the iceberg, and the MCU is the Titanic, and I swear to God, they're going to sink it, because the more power they get, and the more people support them, the more they're going to start trying to flex on Marvel. Sometimes I wish Marvel never got involved with Sony. Sometimes I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and I love his relationship in the MCU. But sometimes I wonder, is it worth all this? Is it worth being attached to this shitty Sony continuity? Because I have no faith that Morbius is going to be any good at all. And you guys know, I hated Venom. I hate Venom. Hate Venom with a passion. I don't even hate things. By the way, I'm the dude I like fucking Man of Steel more than I like Venom. I like BVS more than Venom. There's a long list of movies that I like more than Venom. And most of those movies are movies I don't like that I like more than Venom. But the thing is, this is like, even if you were gonna do this, why wouldn't you pick one of the other characters that people like? Why wouldn't you pick a popular villain that people liked, that everybody liked, and everyone would be like, because I feel like this news would hit me differently. If they said that, can't remember his name. They said, what's his name from Spider-Man 2 was coming back to play Dr. Octopus. It would have hit me differently. I'd have been like, oh, so they are doing this Spider-Verse thing. Okay, I mean, he's the only Dr. Octopus I've ever seen in live action, and he did a great job. So I was like, okay, I can do it, okay. All right, let's see. They said, well, Willem Dafoe was coming back to play Green Goblin. I'm like, okay, all right, maybe we can get that mask that they never gave him in the original movie that they were thinking about doing, but, they didn't do it. But maybe I guess it was more of an animatronic, but I digress. Maybe they're going to get that. Okay, that'd be cool. All right. But no, you picked Jamie Foxx's Electro. Like, what in the hell? And all you see are people excited about the Spider-Verse. What the hell makes you think Sony can handle the Spider-Verse? They can't even finish a trilogy right. They can't even start a franchise right. And you think they can handle... I don't know where this weird faith comes from. There's a lot of weirdness going on. Apparently, the MCU being good for so long has made people lose faith in them. And DC and Sony being DC and Sony, okay, DC, that's harsh. It's more like Warner Brothers. I'm not going to just point out DC, because they've made some good movies. But, like, Sony has done jack shit. And, and like, literally out of nowhere, all this faith, they're like, well, they can do it. What, since when? And I see some people, oh, they got a Sinister Six script ready to go. You mean that same Sinister Six script that was written after that shitty movie they just made, that they were setting up in that movie? That Sinister Six script? That's the one we're talking about here? And it's just so apparent to me that Sony is taking advantage of the situation. They're really trying to milk it. And no, like that's my fear, is I feel like Sony is going to be the one to milk the fucking genre for all that it's worth, because they're so desperate to get they're so desperate to get what Marvel has, and the MCU did them a favor by helping them out, because make no mistake about it, anyone who in this comment section who's going to defend Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I don't think anybody following me would be stupid enough to defend that crappy movie, don't make any mistake about it. That movie was crap. That movie was so crap that Sony was forced to ask for the MCU's help. And the MCU didn't have to help them, but they helped them because they thought it would be fun for the fans, and they thought there was something to be worked out. Granted, I believe they helped them because they want to buy fucking Spider-Man one day, but they can't yet, and maybe they're just buying their time. But honestly, like, to me, Sony is going to be the downfall, and I don't know what the fuck this is. The good news is, the reason why I'm going to end this on a something more looser note, it might just be a cameo. Like, literally, there is no report on how long he's going to be in the movie. Is he going to be main? It wasn't reported he's going to be the main villain of the movie. It's just reported he is going to return as Mysterio in the movie. It could just be a cameo. It could be a post-credit scene. I mean, when Doctor Strange was coming out years ago, it was reported that damn it, I always forget his name. I think it's David Bratt. Benjamin Bratt. It's reported that Benjamin Bratt was going to be in it. And you guys might not know who Benjamin Bratt is, but he was in Coco, and he was in Doctor Strange. He's been in a bunch of movies. He was in that terrible, he was the cop in that terrible Halle Berry Catwoman movie. He was the cop in that. So you've seen Benjamin Bratt before. It was reported he was going to be in Doctor Strange, and everybody kind of assumed he was going to be in it in a bigger role. He was only in it for about 10 minutes? Less than that, like 5. Like, he was like talking to Doctor Strange, and then at the end, that was it. He was only in it for 10 minutes, if that. So I'm hoping, praying, God, please, praying that if he is in this, it's just for a few minutes and it's just a glimpse. Maybe it's like they look into the multiverse and they see Mr. Electro, and he goes, "Wow," and that's it. God, please let that be it. Oh my goodness. Kevin Feige just let the fucking dogs in. You know, he just let the fucking dogs in, man. Like, sometimes I wonder if this whole MCU Spider-Man thing was worth it. Because Sony is just a fucking parasite. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe. What do you think about this Jamie Foxx Electro news? This fucking ridiculousness that's honestly still ridiculous to me. It's honestly just bad. I'm like the only person on YouTube who's apparently frustrated with the Sony relationship. I thought that Sony was just going to let them make Spider-Man movies, take their profit, and just fucking back the hell up. But no, it's not what happened. It's not what happened. That's what I thought they would do. I thought they were going to fuck off and go do their own little universe that actually sucks. And maybe once it sucked too bad, they'd just be like, okay, like, you guys just do our universe too. Like, I thought that's what was going to happen. But no. With that new guy who they got running Sony, coming in and puffing his chest out, getting bold, thinking he's fucking King Dick, even though he ain't nowhere near, even though their little whatever the fuck they're doing ain't the MCU. That's the problem I got with a lot of things going on right now, is everyone wants to skip steps. Sony wants to skip the steps that it took for the MCU to get there. DC wanted to skip the steps to get there. Everyone wants to just be the MCU. And like, for a long time, everyone reacted how I reacted. It was like, you can't do that. But lately, this year in particular, 2020, especially with no Marvel movies, everyone seems to just be on board with people just skipping the steps and just being there. Nobody wants to see, like, how Flashpoint doesn't even actually make sense unless you've had a cinematic universe to Flashpoint. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean anything without another universe to Flashpoint off of. They'd be like, oh, this is the main universe, this is the universe we're used to, now it's a Flashpoint thing. It doesn't actually mean anything, yet everyone's excited for Flashpoint just because of the comics, and that's it. There is no actual universe to Flashpoint. And right now, it's the same thing with the Spider-Verse stuff. It's just like, what makes you think they can do this? they haven't done this, and the last time they wrote this script for this was when they also wrote the script for this shitty fucking Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2. So there's more evidence to the contrary that this is gonna work. There's more evidence to the contrary that they know that these different people know what they're doing, yet everyone ignores that and just kind of goes, well, Marvel did it, but Marvel didn't do it that way. But no one cares about that right now. And that's kind of the thing that really boggles my mind the most. And right now, even right now, there are people confused as if this is what's going on with Sony and Marvel. There are people confused who don't know quite what's going on, and that's exactly what they want you to know. But I will report here every fucking day the difference between Sony and the MCU. And a lot of people always are reporting they're trying to do something, but I'm like, I hope not. Keep Venom away from the MCU. Please keep Venom away from the MCU. Thank you guys for joining Comic Gaming Show again. Please remember to like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.